Órale, Cholo Trucker Más Movies and Shows, and we got episode numero dos, episode two of Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. All right, man. So, as always, I just want to make it clear I don't give a rat's ass about what is real, what is not, what is embellished, what is made up, what is inaccurate to the real story. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm just talking about the show itself. Now, on this one, on episode one, I thought Lyle, the character that plays Lyle, stole the show. In this one, I still think he does, but Eric actually makes a good case for himself here. They showed a little bit more attitude when it comes to him. They're going over the safe and the will and the money, and is it going to go to them or not? It shows them spending all the money, or not all the money, but spending a lot of money, right? It's like their parents died and now they're out there partying, they're out there living it up, not really seeming like two young men who just lost mom and dad in a gruesome murder, right? They're out there spending money, having a good time. Now, I did like uh Lyle, what he had said. It's like, well, we're trying to spend money in a way to make us happy after, mom and dad being brutally killed, right? At the same time, we're introduced to the detectives that are part of this case. Now, one of the dudes, one of the dudes is a funny looking guy. He kind of looks like Ned Flanders, who's all twacked out. He's all sucked up. Right? The other guy, I'm like, okay, I've seen that guy on plenty of shows, but or movies or whatever. But I'm like, this dude, man, his face just doesn't go with the mustache and the hair. All right. But nonetheless, they're trying to get to the bottom of this. They don't really have any evidence. This is where you start hearing a little bit more of Eric and his best buddy, and them trying to get the safe open. They can't do it, so their uncle has to shoot down. The will is not in there. Lyle seems to keep it under control for the most part. I like how he's kind of ahead of things, right? The only one really dropping the ball for the most part is Eric. Lyle seems to be a little bit more in control of like, hey, I want to go in there and check out what's in the safe first. While the uncles are like, wait a second, but legally we all have to be there. And Lyle just whips up some tears and saying, well, listen, it's no secret that my dad had girlfriends, and I don't want there to be shame to our family anymore. So please let me just go in there and, remove anything that's inappropriate that's going to bring shame to our family. Like that was pretty fast thinking on his part. At the same time, they're partying, is showing Lyle snort some lines, and they're starting to show a little bit of Lyle and Eric almost having some sort of homosexuality relationship with one another. I mean, they kissed each other in the lips, not with tongue or open mouth, but like a peck. They're dancing, at a party together, and just like, it made it clear that everybody at the party was kind of like, the heck's going on with these two guys? They're over there, dancing with each other, filling each other up a little bit. And in a way, to a certain degree, they do kind of act a little bit like a gay couple. Um, this really builds up to the doctor slash therapist, the only one that knows what happened. Oh, that's right. And his mistress knows what happens, who happens to be his patient as well. So she's all freaked out. And this is where it gets pretty damn good. She's all freaked out because the doctor's a little freaked out, thinking that these guys, Lau and Eric, can kill him because he knows everything now. And in a way, Lyle did threaten him to a certain degree. So now she's thinking, hey, what if they come kill me? I'm not safe. I need to move in with you, your kids, and your wife. This is his mistress. We're talking about the doctor, the therapist here. And she's a nutcase. Good gosh, she's a nutcase. But nonetheless, he moves her in with his family. Imagine that. Imagine that. Now, again, I don't want to get into the ins and outs, what really happened in real life. Okay. I'm just sticking to the story. But just imagine that. He moves his mistress in with his wife and kids. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. In the meanwhile, Lau and Eric, their maid went ahead and found the actual will of their father, who actually left everything to them, which they were afraid. That's the whole thing about the will. Lau and Eric were afraid that they were not going to get anything in the will simply because their father told them that. Because when they got caught robbing a house, the father told them, "You are out of the will." But nonetheless, when the will was read, so basically they believed it. They believed they were out of the will. But when the will was read, it was specified in there that everything would go to their mom, Kitty. But if something were to happen to her, it would go to his sons, equally split down. So they did get everything. Now you go back to the doctor who has his mistress, his nutcase mistress, in the house. At this time, the detectives are pretty much putting more of a spotlight on the boys, on Lau and Eric, because nothing really else is really adding up, right? When they go in there, it's like, hey, Eric said that it was all smoky in here. And that was 2 hours after the murders took place and the window was blown open. And nothing, there's no leads anywhere to the mob, to the cartel, to any street gang, anything that they're trying to throw at us to make us look into any of these stories, any of these cases. I'm sorry, any of these leads. To build a case, there's nothing leading up to it. The only ones that look suspicious is Lyle and Eric. So now you fast forward to the doctor who has his nutcase mistress slash patient living at his house, which, by the way, you never see his actual wife in episode 2, that is. So now she oversteps her boundaries. She rearranges furniture. She starts making it seem like it's her house because she's under the impression that he, the doctor, is in love with her and that he is going to leave his wife when the time is right and spend life with her. Now she starts pushing her way into the house a little bit too much, basically telling his daughter, it's not her daughter, it's his daughter, basically telling her that she's going to be her new mom. That's the final straw. He loses it. He kicks her out of the house, right? All pissed off, tells her with a passion, with an angry passion, tells her, I'm not leaving my wife. I only hooked up with you because I felt sorry for you. That was a huge mistake on his part because the way episode 2 ends, by the way, she told him, I know things that will ruin you. And he's all, and by the way, he just puts trust in her. Like, hey, don't go saying anything for your sake. And the episode ends with her sitting down with the lead detective on the Menendez murder case. Good episode. I thought episode 1 was a little bit more intriguing. Nonetheless, episode 2 was pretty damn good itself. And we will see what happens with episode 3. But nonetheless, this episode showed a uncomfortable kind of relationship with Lyle and Eric, where, you know, they might be, they might have some sort of homosexual relations with one another. So, yeah, let's see what's up with episode three. This show is getting good, man. It's getting good. It started really good with episode one. Episode two, maybe not as good, but damn good itself. So we'll see what's up with episode three. Cholo, Trucker, Moss Movies and Shows. Catch you guys on the next one.